But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
The NBA has been shaken to its core. FBI raids, millions in dirty gambling money, and rumors of mob ties are spreading through the league. What has surfaced so far may only be a small part of what's still hidden. The question now is who else is involved and how deep this really goes. The world was stunned by the events of October 23, 2025, when at exactly 6 a.m., FBI agents carried out a nationwide operation with remarkable precision. In Portland, Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, a five-time NBA All-Star, Finals MVP, and Hall of Famer who had coached a game just the night before, was arrested at his home. In Orlando, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, who had been on the bench just hours earlier, was taken into custody by federal agents at his hotel room. In the bright lights of Las Vegas, former Cleveland Cavaliers player and coach Damon Jones was taken into federal custody, facing charges that sent shockwaves across the entire basketball world. But this was no ordinary arrest. It was something darker, wider, and more destructive than anyone in the basketball community could have ever imagined. When FBI Director Kash Patel stepped to the podium for what would become a historic press conference, the seriousness of the situation became clear to everyone watching. This was not about a few individuals making poor choices alone. It was about something far greater and far more dangerous.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
Take a moment to think about that and let it truly sink in. The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is holding a press conference where the director himself announces that NBA players and coaches were arrested along with members of the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. This is not about small gambling violations. This is about the Italian mafia working directly with professional basketball figures to carry out complex operations that cheated victims out of millions of dollars. More than 30 people were taken into custody across 11 states in what authorities describe as one of the most complicated and extensive criminal operations ever discovered in professional sports. When Director Patel addressed the public from the podium, his words reflected the results of a years-long investigation built carefully step by step, collecting proof, recording discussions, and tracking financial dealings that revealed a network of corruption so detailed and so deeply rooted in professional basketball that it threatens to completely undermine the foundation of fan confidence in the game.
And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
Now, let's break down exactly what we are looking at here, because the scale of this operation is truly astonishing and demands complete attention and understanding. This was not a single scandal. It was actually two different but connected criminal networks that shared some of the same main figures, forming a chain of corruption that reached from NBA locker rooms to secret poker rooms in Manhattan penthouses. The first scheme, which federal officials called Operation Nothing But Bet, involved insider sports betting fraud that lasted from December 2022 to March 2024. Here's how this clever yet deeply troubling plan unfolded, simple in design but shocking in impact. NBA insiders, including players, coaches, and staff with access to private team information, leaked secret details about injuries, lineup adjustments, and player availability to networks of gamblers and bookies hours before this data was released publicly. Consider Terry Rozier's situation as a clear example of how bold these operations were. On March 23, 2023, during a game against the New Orleans Pelicans, Rozier reportedly texted his childhood friend Dairo Lur, telling him that he planned to leave the game early after just 9 minutes due to a claimed hamstring issue. Lure then passed this highly valuable inside information to a betting group that quickly placed more than $200,000 on under-prop bets for Rozier's points, rebounds, and assists. As expected, Rozier left the game after exactly 9 minutes and 34 seconds, leading all those targeted bets to win and bringing in tens of thousands of dollars in illegal gains.
Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars.
But this is where things become even darker and more disturbing. Damon Jones, the former Cleveland Cavaliers player and unofficial Lakers assistant coach, allegedly sold private information about LeBron James and his injuries for as little as $2,500 per tip. This involved one of the greatest players in basketball history, with confidential details about his health being traded like goods on an underground market. In one recorded case, Jones sent a text message before the February 9, 2023 Lakers-Bucks game that read "Bet Bucks player out," referring to LeBron missing that matchup. The Lakers lost by 29 points, and those who got that inside tip earned huge profits.
One of the stories was where is it Damon Jones, I think, was that gave a word that he may not be playing the game to a guy on the outside. Do you think this is going to be tied to some NBA superstars as well? And Chauncey is a superstar. He's NBA champion, finals MVP. He's absolutely a superstar, a head coach. But do you think some major superstar names could be tied or leaked to this case here?
Prosecutors estimate that tens of millions of dollars were stolen through this betting scheme alone, with wagers placed on major platforms like DraftKings and BetMGM. These legitimate betting companies unknowingly became victims of the massive fraud. The list of affected teams includes some of the biggest names in the NBA, such as the Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, Orlando Magic, Portland Trail Blazers, and Toronto Raptors, all of which had games influenced by insider leaks. But if that seems unbelievable, prepare yourself, because the second scheme, called Operation Royal Flush, ventures into territory that feels more like a scene from a Martin Scorsese movie than real life. This was a mafia-supported operation that conducted high-tech rigged poker games in some of the most exclusive places imaginable: Manhattan penthouses, Hampton Estates, dazzling Las Vegas casinos, and elite Miami clubs. The technology these criminals used seemed taken from a spy movie and showed how advanced modern organized crime has become. They operated with marked decks, X-ray scanning tables that could read cards face down, hidden cameras inside lights and ceiling panels, special contact lenses that revealed invisible card markings, and earpieces connected to off-site operators who analyzed the games live. This was far beyond old-fashioned card tricks. It was Ocean's 11-level sophistication turned into a criminal underground system.
They used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. The off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from others to others at the table.
Here is where the NBA connection becomes essential to understanding how the entire operation worked. Chauncey Billups, the Hall of Famer, champion, and Finals MVP, allegedly served as what was called a face card, using his fame and respected image to draw wealthy players into these games. These were not ordinary participants. They included Wall Street executives, successful entrepreneurs, and high-net-worth individuals who would never consider joining an underground poker game unless someone with Billups's reputation guaranteed its legitimacy. Billups reportedly received between 10 and 15% of the total winnings for his part in bringing in these wealthy players, often referred to as whales in gambling circles. Federal prosecutors reported that victims lost at least $7.2 million to these fixed poker games over 6 years, with one particularly unlucky person losing $1.8 million alone. When victims, frustrated by their losses, refused to pay or began asking difficult questions, mafia enforcers working for the group resorted to threats, intimidation, and in some cases, actual violence to recover what they claimed was owed. One defendant, Omar Aad, allegedly struck a debtor with a pistol in East Hampton, while another case involved an armed robbery to seize rigged shuffling equipment that a player had tried to keep as proof of the cheating.
One victim in particular lost $1.8 million. In total, losses exceeded $7 million and continue to climb. And when people refused to pay, these defendants did what organized crime has always done. They used threats, they used intimidation, and they used violence.
This is the moment to pause and truly grasp the scale of what is being discussed, because the impact goes far beyond just 3 arrests or even 34 defendants. The investigation dates back to 2019, when authorities first received reports of strange betting activity and violence connected to high-stakes poker games in the Hamptons. For over 6 years, federal agents working alongside the NYPD's Joint Organized Crime Task Force have carefully built these cases by carrying out surveillance, securing wiretaps, recording conversations, and tracking financial movements through a maze of shell companies, offshore accounts, and cryptocurrency exchanges. The investigation deepened along with the mafia connection. The probe that led to the October 23, 2025 arrest started in March 2023 when FBI agents and federal prosecutors noticed unusual patterns in Terry Rozier's playing time and the related betting activity surrounding his games. As they looked closer, tracing digital messages, money movements, and the network of links between players and gamblers, they uncovered something far larger than anyone had expected. Now, let's look at the key figures in this real-life crime story, because knowing who they are and how they worked together is essential to understanding the full extent of the scandal. Of the 34 people arrested and charged, 13 are confirmed members or associates of New York's notorious 5 families of La Cosa Nostra, specifically the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.